Hello YouTube, how's everyone doing? It's Professional here. So today I want to do a review on the new Invade and Persuade RC tank. This was released as part of the Festive Surprise today, and it's actually free. So everyone should get it while it's free because it normally costs $2,275,000. When you acquire the tank, you will spawn this from your interaction menu from the inventory, the same place where you spawn the RC Bandito in. And when you first spawn this thing, you're going to notice it has the stock cannon on it. This thing can also jump. And the stock cannon on it, it fires with L1 on the PS4. I'm guessing this would be LB on the Xbox One. The stock gun is the worst weapon, in my opinion, on this thing. It has the slowest rate of fire. It takes 14 shots to the chest to kill a player with full health versus the plasma turret, which fires much faster and takes 11 shots to the chest to kill someone. It can still be effective against NPCs. It can blow up vehicles as well. So if you're not looking, to spend some extra money, you can just keep the stock cannon on this thing and it can help you against other NPCs. But there's other better weapons to use with it, like the plasma turret. But let's start customizing this thing and take it to Los Santos Custom. Okay, so once we take the RC tank into Los Santos Customs, we can change different weapons on this thing, and this thing has 3 different customizations. It has liveries, basically paint camos on it. It then has a respray option where you can change the general color on it, and lastly we have the weapons. And as for the weapons, we have the stock gun, which that comes default with it. We have the Flamethrower, which is a pretty unique weapon. The other vehicle that had a Flamethrower was the Cerberus truck as part of the Arena Wars update. We also have the tank cannon on it, and we also have the plasma cannon. So let's start out with the Flamethrower. Let's test that out. It's $109,000, and I gotta warn people, one thing that's really annoying about this vehicle is that you can't change the weapons for free after purchasing them. So let's say you purchase the Flamethrower, and then you use the Flamethrower a little bit, you want to use the plasma cannon. You go to the plasma cannon, and then you want to go back to the Flamethrower, well, guess what? You got to pay $109,000. This isn't the only vehicle in the game that does it, but it's kind of annoying how you got to keep purchasing weapons. If you purchased a weapon, it should be free. I don't understand it disappears, and then you got to purchase it again. Well, here we go with the Flamethrower. So the Flamethrower, pretty unique weapon on this thing, and basically, when you set most NPCs on fire in this game, even touch them a little bit with it, they'll go on fire and they'll die right away. I noticed that basically whenever I hit cops with this thing, the second they get on fire and they fall to the ground, they are pretty much dead. But what also surprised me about the flame turret is the fact that it destroys vehicles pretty quickly. If you hit the front of the vehicle, you're going to blow it up pretty quickly. I didn't expect the Flamethrower to do this much damage to vehicles. And as for players, it can kill players as well, but you got to get pretty close to them. And on top of that, when you set a player on fire, they're only going to be on fire for a few seconds, and then it's going to go away, so you got to keep repeatedly hitting them with it. If you try to hit somebody with the Flamethrower on this, they're probably either going to blow themselves up to avoid dying, or they will just fire an RPG right at you and accidentally kill themselves. They're going to probably try to run away too from it. So the Flamethrower, I wouldn't say the Flamethrower would probably be it wouldn't be the best weapon for PvP against other players. The next weapon we have on here is the rocket launcher. Now, a lot of players probably purchased a rocket launcher thinking that it would be the best weapon on this thing. I disagree. Every weapon, I think, has some uses, and the rocket launcher, I think, that would be the best weapon to deal with vehicles. If you want to blow up vehicles, that would be your best weapon for it. But the thing is about the rocket launcher is each time you fire it, it has a pretty slow rate of fire. It doesn't have that good range, so you have to be still decently close to the target, and on top of that, most vehicles are going to take at least 2 shots, especially civilian vehicles, to blow up. Plus, there is about a 2-second cooldown on each shot, and if I try to blow up civilian vehicles right here, you see I managed to hit the first shot, but then by the time the cooldown gets the next shot ready, they managed to escape. So even if you were dealing with like a hostile player and they pulled up in like a supercar and started shooting at you, and you fired 1 shot at them, you might have hit them, but then they'll just speed away and get away from you by the time you fire the second shot. So I personally don't think the rocket launcher is that great of a weapon. It might be good against vehicles, but it's not going to be good against a lot of NPCs. It's going to actually take pretty long. And as for like fighting players and NPCs with this, if you hit an NPC like right down at the ground, you'll pretty much kill them. If you hit them directly with it, you'll kill them. But as for players, if you hit a player directly with this, directly to the chest, you will kill them in 1 shot. But most people aren't going to land a direct hit. They're not. It's pretty hard to time it, and it also involves some luck. So most people are probably going to aim at the ground, because when we, use tanks in this game, we aim at the ground, right where the target is. We don't aim directly at the target. And when you hit the ground, right where a player is, it'll actually, kind of disorient them for a few seconds. It'll actually make them fly up, make them fall over, but it won't kill them right away. It will take away 90% of their health, but, you know, I did a PvP test against my friend right here, and I thank my friend TBH82 for helping me record this, but as you guys can see right here, I was trying to kill him right here. I told him to try his best to also kill me, and I was having a lot of difficulty landing a bunch of shots, and he was doing a lot of damage to me, and eventually he was going to blow me up. My tank, you know, started smoking. It was going to be over here. I finally got a lucky shot and I killed him, and when I used the plasma turret, I was able to get kills much easier. Now, the last weapon on here is the Plasma Cannon, and this thing costs $270,000. It is the most expensive weapon out of all of them, and the Plasma Cannon, this thing has a very fast fire rate. It kills players in 11 shots. It's 11 shots versus the stock gun, which took 14 shots to the chest. And like I said, fires much faster, so it's going to be much more effective. In terms of PvP, you don't even have to be really good at this thing. And you can just spray this thing, just continuously spray this thing until you hit someone. And you kill them. As you can see right here, I was fighting my friend here. I killed him a bunch of times. And he also killed me a bunch of times. And this gun has pretty far range. You can fire it pretty far. You can see right here, it's a little bit hard to see because of the snow weather, but you see that blue laser that's going, that's the plasma cannon right there. So you can see it has pretty good range. When somebody's spraying this thing at you, I mean, the best thing that I would do, in my opinion, is to run. Like, get to some kind of high ground, get to some kind of cover where this thing can't chase you. Like, right here, I jumped over this wall. But just be aware, these things can also jump. So if somebody's chasing you and you jump over something that's not that tall, the tank can probably jump over that and chase you as well. So if you're going to only get one gun, you're only interested in getting one weapon, get the plasma cannon on this thing. It is the most effective one. I was also curious about how fast this thing was exactly. I decided to compare it to the RC Bandito because that's the other RC vehicle that we have in this game. And even though I got a 2-second head start right here, the RC Bandito was able to easily catch up to me and pass me. So the RC Bandito is much faster than the RC tank. And I also decided to compare it to the Kanjali, which is, you know, the best tank in the game. And I did a speed test against the tank. I got a 2-second head start on the Kanjali. The Kanjali still beats me, so the Kanjali is much faster than the RC tank here. The RC tank, it's pretty slow, but, you know, that's understandable. It's probably due to balance issues, because if this thing was much faster, it might be overpowered. And for the last part of this test, I decided to do an armor test. I wanted to see how many RPGs this thing could take directly, and it takes 5 RPGs. I was kind of surprised by this. I thought it would take like around 3, 4 RPGs. I didn't think it would take 5, and another really good thing about this is that you don't have to pay for any extra armor. There are no armor upgrades on this thing, so it comes default with pretty strong armor like this. So armor on this thing is pretty great as well. So here we have the pros and the cons, and the pros are, it's a free vehicle. That's probably the best pro about this thing. You know, even if you're not going to play today, everybody should still log in, get this thing. It's free, because then it's going to be over $2 million. And it has 4 weapons: Flamethrower, stock gun, plasma turret, rocket launcher. Personally recommend the plasma turret. Strong armor, can take 5 RPGs. It's easily spawnable from the interaction menu, and it doesn't appear on radar. This I didn't cover, but it does not appear on the radar, so this might be good for, you know, people if you're fighting somebody in PvP, but it might also be bad because if somebody's coming right at you, you don't know that. And the cons are, you have to pay to switch guns. I think this is the worst con. Why do you gotta constantly pay to switch weapons? If you buy the plasma turret, you want to go back to the flamethrower, you gotta keep paying to switch weapons. It should be that you buy all the weapons and you can switch them for free. That's how it should be. Another con is that it's pretty slow, but that is understandable. It's probably due to balance issues. And the last con is you can't aim the turret all the way down. Now this I didn't really cover much, but you can't aim the turret all the way down next to you. You gotta get a little bit of a space. Other tanks can aim the turret more down, and I mean, this is probably due to balance issues as well, but it can be pretty annoying when you're trying to hit a target lower, especially if you're using the rocket launcher on it. But other than that, this is a great vehicle. I think that everybody should pick up this RC vehicle. It's going to be very useful in the future, probably very useful for dealing with cops, useful in a lot of missions. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, drop a like, and if you're new to my channel, enjoy my content, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care, everyone.